Thank y'all for coming. You know who we are, Tiger Nation. Bridging the gap between student, athlete, and community while celebrating one victory at a time. Off top, I'm a winner. I only do what winners do. I'm about to visit Tiger Nation, so I...
Hey everyone, welcome to Tiger Talk. My name is Courtney Thornton here with your co-host Philip Beckham. Today we have a special guest with us. You all know who it is, and he doesn't need any introduction. You know, we're here on the show today with Coach L.A. O'Neal. Coach, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir. So Coach, we're going to start off by talking a little bit about the anxiety and panic attacks that us and the community had while we were waiting, for the board to decide who was going to get the job. So, Coach Glass, Mr. Glass would tell us bits of information, need to know basis on, them narrowing it down, and they finally narrowed it down to, a couple applicants, and you prevailed. You prevailed. So you've been coaching football for a while now. You got 17 years experience?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about your journey to where it ended up at Tallassee. Give us a little walkthrough of how you ended up here at Tallassee. And Lord knows we glad to have you.
Okay. I was glad to be here. My journey started playing high school football over at Reeltown High School for my father. Played for a state championship my junior year. We came up short to a good Hazelwood team. Then we won it my senior year. Left there, went to University of West Kentucky, played for Coach Harbaugh, able to win a national championship up under Coach Harbaugh. Played for a couple of years after he retired for Coach Elson. Then I left there and went into the United States Air Force. Spent some time in the Air Force, did a tour did a time in Nebraska, then did a 1 year remote in Korea. Got out, went to seminary school, and while I was going to seminary school, I started helping my father coach toward the tail end of his career. Coached with him for a couple of years while I finished up seminary school, and then once I finished, I had all intentions on going back into the service, but just felt the need and the love for coaching, and saw the ministry opportunity in coaching, being around young men and being able to pour in them. And just felt like God had a purpose for me in coaching. And so I kept coaching, and then he retired, and I coached with Coach Johnson for a couple of years, and then left there, went to Pike Road, coached at Pike Road for a couple of years with Coach Brownie, and then found myself at BTW and was able to turn that program around. That was my first head coaching opportunity at BTW. Took a team that was normally a homecoming team, and then we made it into a team that people really didn't want to play toward the end of my third year there. We went 9-5, 28 points away from going to the state championship this year. Had some really good guys. Was able to put quite a few guys in collegiate ranks, and then the opportunity came to come to Tallassee, and it was a great opportunity. Talked about it, prayed about it with my wife, and just saw that God was really calling me to take this job, and was just blessed to be among the 5 that was interviewed, and blessed to be the one that rose to the top to take this position.
Absolutely. And Coach, I'm telling you, we're thankful for it. And just to touch back on a little bit of what you said, I heard you mention seminary school, and I hear you mention God often. And as a man of faith, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're bringing that aspect around our kids and our youth. They get to see a man of God in action, to be able to, lead them, in the right direction. So one of the things I wanted to ask personally, here at Tallassee, it's probably a different experience, how are you becoming acclimated, to the way things move over here, bringing your spin to, how things operate? How are you becoming acclimated to Tallassee High School?
It's really just getting used to a new environment. It's not a whole bunch of acclimation. Kids are kids no matter where you go. Kids are receptive to just the love and the attitude and the energy that we bring. So kids have really kind of been drawn, and plus we're new. Right. So it's that new car smell. They kind of drawn to it. But as far as acclimation, it's just getting moved into the space. Once everything's settled down with the meet and greets and what I call the pageantry, and we get down to the X's and O's. Right. That's the part that we are looking to get to. And so after we have the parent meeting next Monday at 6 o'clock at the high school gym, then we get down to the knit and grit and get heavily focused on that weight room and speed and agility drills and and start putting in our install and really just commit ourselves to the work so that we can bring this program back to where it used to be.
Right, absolutely appreciate it. Now, when we came to the meet and greet on Monday, there was a lot of turnout. People were interested. They were like, okay, L.A. O'Neal, we see it, we see him, and there were a lot of people here. I mean, there was well over 125 people that I saw, in this one room, and people want to see this new hire. They want to see Coach O'Neal, as we know in L.A. They want to see what he brings to the table. Now, you are the head football coach, but you're also our athletic director.
Yes, sir.
And as an athletic director, I'm sure you know what that entails of covering all the sports. You've got a chance to witness some of the wrestling. I saw you post about the wrestling over there. You said now you're a wrestling fan, and I like that. We broadcast some of the wrestling, and we went to some of the matches, and I'm just going to be honest with you, we were confused at first. We didn't know what was going on, and we just know our guys were pinning a lot of people. And that's what we became accustomed to see. But getting around to all the sports, I know it's going to be hard, making time for everything. But as athletic director, that's what you do. You make time for the wrestling team now. What do you think about the direction that they're going and how Coach Mask is handling those guys?
I've known Coach Mask for a long time. His father was my principal at Reeltown High School, and his sister was my classmate. So I've known that family for a long time, and I've been a fan of Coach Mask for quite some time now. And just to see what he's done with the program, Coach Mask runs a top-notch program, a championship program. Even though we came up short right there in the duels match, Coach Mask does an excellent job. He gets the most out of those kids, and it was exciting. It was exciting. The stands was packed on our side. You can hear people yelling from the stands, and I was trying to get adjusted to what they were saying, being that I've never really been at a wrestling match, but it was exciting just to see the kids out there competing at a high level, and I'm proud of what Coach Mask has done with the program, and look to see him do more in the future.
All right, man. I'm telling you, Coach Mask, those wrestlers are on fire. We've got Coach Mixon, we've got Coach Johnson, we've got Coach Ellis. All those guys, they're putting in hard work in the gym and the basketball, and although we're not getting the result that we have, they have vastly improved. From where they were last year, and then we move on to our fishing team. Our fishing team is, man, I'm telling you, they're tough. They are tough. And then we move on a little bit to softball and baseball, volleyball. We have all these athletes, man, and you're the athletic director. So I'm just excited to see you be able to spread that love through all of the sports, man, and just the students in general. I know you have. And what subject do you teach?
I don't have a subject other than the weightlifting classes that I have. I'm technically a PE teacher. And I have weightlifting classes, but it's our goal to just maximize the exposure for all of our athletes, from not only just the ones that's on the field, but band as well, and cheerleaders, softball, baseball, all of our athletes, so that we can expose them and try to help these kids really achieve their dreams. So that's what we do. We support kids no matter what they're doing, as long as they're doing something positive. That's our goal. As an athletic director, I was really the unofficial athletic director at BTW. I did a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the Dragonfly stuff, did a lot of the scheduling. So I've been doing it. I just didn't have the title of athletic director. And anytime something was going on, I was always there. And that's just I love sports. I love athletics. I love to see kids compete. I love to see them win. Sometimes you have to be there when they come up short and the tears are dropping, to be there to console them. It's just a part of what we do, and it's a part of caring for kids. It's part of ministry to show them that even when you lose, sometimes you got to learn a lesson in that loss so that you don't have to feel that pain anymore.
That's right. The one of the things we did earlier was we allowed people to submit some questions via the website, and we have 2 questions that the community wanted answered. So I'm going to ask these questions to Coach O'Neal, and I'm actually going to say your name for the individuals who asked the questions. So we can associate the question with the person. All right. So the first question that we're going to ask is from Jeremy Bradley. He played here at Tallassee. He's a citizen of Tallassee now, and actually has a son in the program. And this was Jeremy's question. He wants to know what kind of offense that you're going to bring to the table, and are we going to maximize the talent that we have in place to run that offense?
Really, I got to see what we got. That's what we're going to use spring to see what we got. But just coming out in the base offense, we're going to be a spread offense, but we're going to be a power football team. We're going to spread you out. We're going to be a 60-40 team. We're going to try to run the ball 60% of the time. We'll throw it 40% of the time. But we want to impose our will on people.
Right.
We want to be a physical ball club because at the end of the day, physicality still wins ball games.
Right.
But we're gonna maximize whatever we have. We're gonna put our athletes out in space so that they can make plays. So we really just gonna tailor what we do based off what we have. If we don't have the athletes to put them out in space, then we'll bring you inside that phone book and try to beat you up inside that phone booth.
Okay.
It just really depends on what we have in the stable.
Yeah, Coach, that sounds like an excellent recipe right there. The second part of his question, he wanted to know if we're going to make any coaching changes. Did you have any ideas, or was that still at large? What was your thoughts on that?
We still playing around with it right now. I know we got some guys that's going to come in that's been coaching with me for a while that know how I like things done, know the type of culture that we set and the type of tempo that we practice with, the type of energy that we bring, and know the X's and O's of what I like to see on the field. So we got those guys coming in, and we got a lot of guys that was already on staff that was doing a really good job
Right.
that we're going to turn loose and let them make the most of their opportunity.
Awesome, Coach. The second question we have is from Stephen Kennebrew Turner, and this was Stephen's question. Over the years, Tallassee has had some generational issues of not maximizing the abundance of talent, over multiple decades. With the new era of Tallassee football, how do we plan on keeping that from happening moving forward?
Well, I can't redo what was done in the past. So
Right.
we look to the future. So going forward, what we'll do, we got 88 opportunities to get on the field.
Right.
We're going to play the best player that we can count on. And the biggest thing that we talk about is accountability. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the weight room, you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do on the field, then we can't count on you. And if you're late and not on time, missing practices, then we can't count on you. Then you will not be in the best ball player that we have. But we're going to play the best guys that we can count on. That's always been a recipe for success. Those are the guys that when it's 4th and 1, because of the discipline that they have, they won't jump off sides. Those are the guys that when it's a big-time situation in the game, because of the amount of practice that they put in, they're able to make that play. They're able to make that catch. They're able to make that block. They're able to make that tackle. So we're going to play the best guys that we can count on.
Oh, perfect,
Absolutely.
Coach. Philip, you got anything for Coach?
What position did you play in high school?
Philip, I was a high school quarterback
Right.
and
Okay.
defensive back. I went to the University of West Kentucky with the option to play either quarterback or defensive back because we ran the triple option. But when I got to West Kentucky, I was tired of getting hit, so I wanted to hit somebody. So
Right.
I moved to the strong safety position and played strong safety in
I got you.
college.
Nice. Good deal.
Yep. Coach, look, I can't tell you enough, how blessed we are, to have a coach of your caliber, here.
Appreciate it.
To
Appreciate
take care of these kids for us. Anytime you guys have any questions for Coach O'Neill, you can submit them via our website, and we'll make sure he gets them to him. Coach, that's all we got for you today, man, and we appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, before we cut out, I just really appreciate everything that
Yes.
y'all do to highlight the student athletes here at Tallassee. What you do is not unnoticed. It's big because exposure is what really gets these kids to the next level. The days of sending out tapes as far as recruiting is the days of old.
Right.
Now everything is done on social media.
That's right.
It's done through clickbait. It's done through getting exposure, likes, comments. That's how you get kids noticed. And what we're doing right here is ahead of the game. And I do want to invite everybody next Monday at 6 o'clock in Tallassee High School, brand new gym, to be there for the parent meeting. If you got an 8th grader that's going to the 9th grade and anyone that's in the 9th, 10th, 11th grade, and you want to play football, we hope to see you there.
That's it. Thanks for coming on the show, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Broadcasting, dog. I'm telling y'all, this the future of podcasting. Ain't no competition, just opposition in the way. A beast up in this game, but y'all just pray up on my dinner plate. I point guard, cross over, now I'm about to penetrate. Baseline, toss it off the glass, dunk it in your face. Tallassee, my city, to my death I'm representing that. I'm about to give it what it's been missing and bring tradition back. Our athletics, they legendary, you either heard or been told about that legacy, you're rocking purple and gold. We don't fold, stand tall, 10 toes like grown men. Stay focused like eyes in zone in. I tell it how it is, up front and never hesitate. You only make it rain, Tiger Nation make the levee break.